Hey everyone, I'm Ella Coco and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about giving birth to a beautiful baby girl at the age of 14 years old. That is correct. I got pregnant at 13 years old and I had my first daughter at 14. So in today's video, I kind of just want to share my story, talk about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. I've never shared my story before with the world, so this is the first time you guys are going to be hearing it, and this is the first time I'm going to be sharing it. I am still dealing with a little bit of a cold. I don't know what's going on. It's something going around. I'm not sure. But without wasting any more time, let's get into this video. At 14, I was not thinking about adulthood, but motherhood put me there instantly. I can honestly still remember the moment I found out I was pregnant. I was 13 years old and I felt like the world froze. I know you may be thinking, what are you doing having sex at 13? But that's honestly something that I will talk about in another video. Today I kind of just want to focus on the pregnancy part of it. But I will say that my very first time having sex is when I got pregnant. So I was a virgin at the time I conceived, and I was honestly terrified. My boyfriend at the time was 17, so he was a lot older than me. I don't think he was a virgin. I'm pretty sure he knew exactly what he was doing. I didn't find out the typical way about my pregnancy where you go and you take a pregnancy test. That's just not how things happened for me. I went about a month and a half without getting a period. And then I told my sister-in-law, which is my brother's wife, that I haven't gotten a period. And so she actually went to go buy me a pregnancy test. And when I took it, it came out positive. So I didn't think, okay, I'm pregnant, let me go get a pregnancy test. I also remember her telling my brother, and my brother ended up trying to fight the guy that got me pregnant. And that's kind of how my mom found out. So my mom, she made me a doctor's appointment, and that's where they confirmed that I was actually pregnant. In that moment, my mom was silent. I could see the look of heartbreak on her face. She was also very confused. Like, she didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I could possibly say to make this situation better. So I just sat there. I just sat there in pure silence the entire way home. I will say throughout my whole pregnancy, my mom was super supportive. She tried to support me the best way that she knew how, even though it was super hurtful for her. She supported me so much that she even threw me a baby shower, but I'll talk more about that later on in the video. At that point, we knew that I was pregnant, and I was just 13 years old, and I was terrified. I didn't know what to do, so I went to school. I tried to be as normal as possible, and I didn't talk about it to anyone. I just kept it to myself. The only people that knew were my family. We ended up telling my daughter's dad, and he just didn't care. He made it known that he didn't want anything to do with me or the baby. He actually had another 14-year-old girl pregnant at the same time as me. So he was just going around knocking girls up, pretty much, seems like. It was also very confusing because my mom didn't want me around him. She didn't want me like being with him or us being alone. He couldn't come over to the house even though I was already pregnant and the damage was already done. She didn't want me having anything to do with him, so it kind of also made the relationship very challenging. He didn't want to be around and my mom didn't want him around, so he just wasn't there. So I pretty much just went through the whole pregnancy by myself. My mom would take me to my prenatal appointments. She would take me to all of my doctor's visits. When I found out I was having a girl, my mom was there. My daughter's dad was there for nothing. I kind of already knew that I was going to be a single mom at the age of 13. That was heartbreaking, and it was sad and very traumatic knowing I'm going to be doing this by myself. before my daughter is even born. With his lifestyle, he was in the streets, you know, he ran the streets, he was a boy from the hood. We just covered up me being a single mom with the fact that it may be for the best, because with his lifestyle, do I really want to raise a baby with him? So he just wasn't around. Throughout my whole pregnancy, I did go to school and I couldn't hide it anymore. The principal knew I was pregnant, the classmates knew I was pregnant, everyone knew. And it was kind of like a shameful thing. And I even had to go to summer school that year because I missed so many days due to being sick or having doctor's appointments. I had friends who did support me and who did try to make me feel as normal as possible. I would say it was mainly the adults that made me feel like crap. Pretty much. I had to sit out for PE. I was kicked off the flag line team. I was pretty alienated throughout school, but I still had to go. For my baby shower, there was maybe 50 people who showed up. I had gifts and toys and clothes and diapers. A lot of my cousins showed up who were the same age as me. And in that moment, I felt so much different than them. I felt like I'm no longer a part of that age group, even though I was. It was so confusing. I gave birth to my daughter July 14 of 2013. My baby girl was born. During the labor and delivery, my dad was there and my mom was there. I was in labor for a very long time and I did have some complications, so I was not dilating, so the baby was not coming down far enough for me to push, and they ended up having to do an emergency C-section on me. I wish my mom would not have let them do that. I wish I would have had better advocacy at that time. I ended up having the C-section and my baby was born. She was 6 pounds and 8 ounces and I think she was 18 inches long. So she was a pretty healthy baby. They brought my baby in and I was just so happy. Like, she was the most precious thing to me. Like, this little baby. It was so surreal how natural motherhood came, and that was a little bit weird for me. I was in the hospital for 3 days recovering. My baby was in the hospital for 3 days. After being discharged to the hospital, I was able to go home, and I remember inviting Mila's dad over to come see her behind my mom's back. She just didn't want him around at all. Me still being a minor, me still being a kid, you kind of have to listen to your parent too. That was kind of like one of the hardships of motherhood, still having to obey my mother while being a mother. But I did invite him over and he was just a little bit negative. He doesn't know if the baby is his or anything like that, but he did come and hold her. It was very short, very brief, and then he left and he hadn't come back around for a while after that. I was pretty much raising my baby by myself with my mom and of course the help of my grandmother and my brothers. I had the village that it takes to raise a baby, but I kind of wish that her dad was there. When it came to motherhood, my mom definitely let me have as much independence as she could. So I was up getting my baby bottles at night. I was up feeding her at night. I didn't breastfeed her. My mom felt like I was a little bit too young to be breastfeeding, but honestly, I was too young for the whole experience. So I didn't breastfeed her, but I was sterilizing bottles, washing bottles. I was doing bath times and caring for her pretty much all by myself. My mom gave me that space to be her mom. And of course, she was always in the background to help me when I needed it, which I needed it a lot. I by far was not the perfect mom at all, but I always tried my best to put my daughter first and make something of myself. I can always say that I never gave up on school. I never gave up on trying to better myself, and I always knew that I wanted to be the best mom that I could. But it was so hard. By the time my daughter reached 2 years old, I was 16 years old, so I was kind of in high school, which became twice as hard because I had to work and go to school and take care of a baby. And the reason I had to work is because I had a baby to take care of. I didn't have really any friends in high school, mainly because I had a baby. So people didn't really want to be my friend. They didn't really know how to connect with a girl who has a baby. Their families or their parents were just always so judgmental. They thought I was maybe like this fast girl who's probably sleeps around for money or something. I don't know. But I didn't really have any friends. I had 0 friends. I actually had 2 jobs. Because I was a minor, I could only do so many hours at each job. I believe I would work 5 hours at Route 21, and then I would walk to Burger King and work 3 hours at Burger King. And I would literally walk to work and get picked up in the afternoon by my mom, have my baby in the afternoon, bathe her, feed her, get her ready for bed, bathe myself and get myself together for bed so that I could go to school the next morning. And I kind of repeated that cycle until I graduated. Honestly, if I could talk to my 14-year-old self today, I would say you didn't ruin your life. You just started it differently. Honestly, motherhood did not end my dreams. It gave them purpose. I'm pretty proud of myself for where I am today. My oldest daughter, she's now 12 years old. She's going into her preteen years, in her preteen era, and she is the brightest, most beautiful girl I've ever met in my entire life. I created that. Back then, everything was so cloudy and scary, and just a lot of things were out of my control. It is still hard. It's still hard because she knows about my preteen story. It is a really hard thing because for a long time, I used to look in the mirror and not want my daughter to be anything like me. That also pushed me to better myself, the way I talk, the way I carry myself, the way I am, the way I speak, and how I treat people. Having a baby at a really young age really did change me and help me in so many ways, because God knows where I would be today without her. I'm still not a perfect parent. I don't think there is a perfect parent out here, but I try my best every single day. I give my best every single day for my kiddos. So if you're a mom, or you felt like life has hit you way too early, I see you. Your story isn't over. You're allowed to grow and you're allowed to heal. Sometimes when I sit and I think about my childhood and my teenage years, wow, I never thought that I would be here today. A lot of people never thought that I would be here today. You know how much judgment and criticism and doubt that I've received from family members or just people that know me. But those are things that stick with me forever. I also feel like those are things that fueled me to be completely different. It's no way I thought that I would be where I am today. The woman that I am today, nobody saw that coming. I didn't even see it for myself. Honestly, didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I want to be a good mom. That's literally all I knew. And because that's all I knew, it showed up in my actions. And I was not perfect. God, I was not perfect. I was far from perfect. I may do like a little Q&A so you guys can kind of get to know me a little bit back then, but I wasn't perfect. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope that this reminds someone out there that no matter how hard or early your journey starts, you can still build a beautiful life for yourself. If my journey has touched you, please drop a heart in the comments down below. And do not forget to like this video and share it out to anyone you may think needs to hear this. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that we may continue to grow together. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.